Approaching Omaha Beach, soldiers and sailors were met with heavy fire from German artillery and machine guns. When Richard had returned wounded to the ship, the day was far from over for Hal and Don. They hadn't even reached the relative safety of the seawall yet. The Allied objective of securing the beachhead seemed farther away than ever.
So I didn't get wounded until I was half over the beach. Both men, one on each side of me, got shot in the chest. I got shot in the rifle. It vibrated, I turned it around. My 7 bullets in the magazine section saved my life. And after I hit the ground, I looked up at the pillbox number 73 on the right flank, and a 88 went off in front of me, ripped his cheek off, ripped the upper jaw off, hole in the roof of the mouth, teeth and gums on my tongue.
I reached a point where I could see that I had to talk to God in a real hurry. And I remember looking up to God, and I yelled, God, no matter what it is you want me to do, I'll do it forever and the rest of my life. And almost instantly, the Navy had shot down smoke flares way down below the beach near Vierville. And the smoke had drifted up by us. At that point, Colonel Cannon, who was my regimental commander, had come along in the smoke and said, okay, guys, get off the beach, get your ass up here, get up to the beach and run. And it was almost simultaneously. And he yelled, 29, let's go. And we did. We get up to the berm, and we made it to the berm.
When I got to the seawall near D1, we got up on that wall. There were, one of my best buddies had his face shot off. He died about 10 minutes after I got there. The other fellas on the wall, Gilbert Pittenger of New Ringgold, Pennsylvania, a fellow named Zimzak of Pennsylvania, Freddie Kaufman of New York, they were still alive, but they were all wounded.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, observers might have thought the invasion had been stopped at Omaha Beach. To the west, the 29th Infantry Division had suffered 80% casualties in the first 15 minutes of landing. To the east, the 1st Infantry Division's casualty rates were as high as 50%.
All these guys that you knew as your friends, you trained with them, and they're laying dead.
But despite the heavy and discouraging loss of lives, small groups of men started to make advances through the enemy lines.
We had one mission, and that was to get into Vierville and get up into the town. And we crawled along for almost 3/4 of an hour to maybe an hour, all along the beach on our hands and knees. We managed to crawl up the beach into Vierville and crawl up the so-called the D1 draw and up into Vierville.
By the time dusk fell on D-Day, 34,000 troops had landed on Omaha Beach. The operation's original objectives were not achieved until several days later. Hal Baumgarten was wounded 4 more times before being evacuated to England the next day. Don McCarthy, who was shot in the leg, and Richard Fazzio were also transported back across the channel to field hospitals. On D-Day, Omaha Beach was the scene of the Allied forces' bloodiest fights, greatest losses, and hardest-won gains. About 2,000 American troops were killed on Omaha Beach. Many more were wounded or went missing.
I remember that day after I got wounded, and the 4 of us was there, and we were all crying. Not over me, but what we saw, the 4 of us. We couldn't believe it.
Looking out over Omaha Beach, the American cemetery in Colleville-sur-Mer is the last resting place for many of the young men who lost their lives on D-Day.
Nobody will ever know what they did, who they were. And I figured God saved me for two reasons: become a physician and help people, and to let people know who these guys were.
But D-Day was something that I think every one of us share this moment that we went through something very special. We changed the world, whether you know it or not. We actually were involved in changing the way the world was operating.
It's amazing how I made it. I think it was the hand of God.
You figure how short life is, and you got to live it every day.